Greetings, Dandelions. Welcome back to Dandelion Yoga Studio, your virtual yoga studio. It's still cold this morning because we are in the beginning of winter. I know that my body is still adjusting and it doesn't really want to do yoga. So I'm going to trick my body into doing some yoga today, and we're going to warm ourselves up from the core outward. And it should be a lot of fun once we get started. So go ahead, grab your mat, come down to the floor, and we'll start with a little bit of fire breathing. If you're not familiar with fire breathing, I have a video that I can link either as a little ribbon or in the description box if you're watching this on YouTube. But for today, know that fire breathing is one long conscious inhale and then short, sharp exhales. And there's an automatic tiny sip of air in between each exhale that happens. So one long inhale and then short, sharp exhales that follow, a little bit like you're blowing into a tissue. And the idea here is that we activate the core muscles as we breathe out. We help to clear the airways, get a lot of warm air flowing into the sinuses, and we speed up the heart just a little bit as well. So it's a great way to warm yourself up. We'll begin by taking the right hand and placing it just underneath the sternum and then holding it in place with the left hand. I like to make a little fist, loose fist, and hold it just in the space between the front of my ribs, just here. And you can close your eyes. Take a breath in through the nose. We'll do 9 little exhales to start. So like you're blowing into a tissue. You make the last exhale extra long, emptying your lungs of air. Maybe tuck your chin here. And then breathe in through the nose and reset the body. Just take a breath here. Catch your breath if you need to. And we'll do 36 now. So a big jump. Go nice and slow if you need to. So inhale. And then 36. Release all of the air, tuck the chin, and then inhale softly. And take a few normal breaths. So we should already start to feel the belly warming up, the lungs warming up a little bit. Start to feel the airways clear up. Feel free to grab a tissue if you need to. We'll do one last round of 36 before we start our practice. So inhale. And short, sharp exhales. Making your last exhale extra long, emptying all of the air, tucking the chin. And then bring both hands to the belly, deep inhale. Gentle exhale. Taking a few gentle breaths here. Bring our hands together at heart center. Give the palms a little bit of a rub. Press them gently over the face. Breathe in. And breathe out. Sweep the hands all the way down. Maybe touch the ground if you need a little bit of extra grounding today. Then I'll turn to the sides so that you can see what we're doing next. So you'll bring your hands to your knees. We'll do kind of a variation of the fire breathing that we just did, a little gentler. We'll combine it with a cat-cow. So we'll inhale, sweep the chest through the biceps, look up to the top corner of the room. And then exhale, rock back. Short, sharp exhale into a seated cat pose. So inhale, exhale, inhale, seated cow, exhale, seated cat. Keep going. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Maybe we slow it down, become a little more exaggerated as we inhale, sweep up. Exhale, rock back. Maybe the knees leave the ground. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, rock back. Inhale, up. Maybe we come up onto the knees this time. Exhale, rock back. Maybe the feet leave the ground. One more time. Inhale, sweep it all the way up. Exhale, rock it back. Come into a boat pose. And we'll hold here, trying to lift up through the torso, reaching the collarbones, reaching the chest up toward the top corner of the room. And if this is really challenging for you today, you can bring your hands behind you, fingers pointing toward the body, and squeeze the elbows back behind you to help lift the chest. You can also hold your hands just behind the knees here. Taking a deep breath in wherever you are, lifting a little higher, squeezing the knees toward the chest. And as you exhale, lower down halfway, maybe straighten the legs here. Inhale, come up. Exhale, lower halfway. Inhale, up. Exhale, lower halfway. Inhale, up. Last one, lift high. Exhale, lower, nice and slow, all the way down. Reach the hands up and overhead. Give a big stretch through the whole body. And exhale it down. Bring the knees to the chest, hands to the outsides of the knees, and rock and roll yourself up. Through a cross-legged position, over the shins, coming into a tabletop. Stacking the wrists underneath the shoulders, knees under the hips. Go ahead and tuck the toes here today. Get a nice stretch through the soles of the feet. And again, we'll inhale and come into cow. Exhale, cat, curling through the spine. Inhale, sweep into cow, chest and tail lift, belly drops. Exhale, cat pose. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Squeeze the elbows toward each other. Pull the hands back toward your knees like you can create a wrinkle in the mat. Make sure your toes are solidly on the ground. And this time as you exhale, sweep the hips back and up. Find your first downward facing dog of the practice. And you can find stillness immediately here, or maybe pedal it out, whatever feels good for your body at this particular point in time. I think I'm going to stay here today just for a few breaths and really let my body kind of fall into the pose. So if you're feeling quite tight in the back of your legs, give yourself a little bit of time. Let the body create that length, and feel free to make micro adjustments. You might find that your tabletop position is a little bit shorter than you want your dog to be. You might find it's a little longer, or that your hands need to come out a little wider. So make those adjustments here and now. Really trying to pin down this pose as we take 2 more breaths. Breathing deeply through the nose for the inhale. And softly through the nose for the exhale. As you inhale again, bend the knees, look forward, and then we'll tippy toe our feet up to the top of the mat. Come into a little forward fold here. So again, find the position of your feet that suits you. Maybe the toes are together. Maybe your feet are the distance of 2 fists apart. Whatever feels best for you today. Gentle bend in the knees. Inhale, lift up halfway. Maybe the hands come to the shins. Flat back, crown of the head pointing forward. Gaze down. And then exhale, fold just a little deeper. Breathing in and breathing out. Then through the knees, rock the weight into the heels as you inhale and roll yourself up, coming into our Tadasana position. Hands down by the sides, connecting to all 3 arches of the feet, big toe to heel, little toe to heel, big toe to little toe. Zipping up through the legs, reaching the crown of the head up toward the ceiling, squeezing the glutes. Exhaling softly, soften the muscles of the face, soften the shoulders, soften the jaw. Take a moment to check in with the body here. Ask yourself how you're feeling, if there's anything that needs a little bit of extra TLC today. And then we'll inhale, sweep the arms up and overhead. Exhale, fold again. Deep bend in the knees here if you need to, but bring your hands all the way down to the ground as you empty the lungs completely. And then inhale, straighten the legs, hands can come to the shins, flat back, halfway lift. Exhale it down, hands to the ground, bend in the knee. As you inhale, sweep the right leg back, come into a low lunge, keep the right knee lifted. Stay connected to all 3 arches of the left foot, sliding the weight back into the heel, pressing the heel down into the mat and squeezing the balls of the toes toward the heel as the heel squeezes back toward the back of the mat, like you're creating a wrinkle in the mat under you. As you inhale, press the right palm into the mat, lift the left palm to the sky, twist. Hold for the exhale, maybe reaching the left side of the ribs higher up toward the ceiling. Again, one more inhale, lift. Exhale, sweep the hand back down, frame the foot, drop down to the right knee, and come into a more traditional low lunge, squeezing the knee and the heel together. As you inhale, you can stay here, or you can bring your hands to your hips, taking a moment to adjust the position of the hips, making sure that if you had 2 little flashlights, they'd be pointing toward the wall in front of you. Breathe in, lift through the body, lift through the crown of the head. Maybe sweep the hands up to the sky. As you exhale, squeeze the heel and the knee together, make fists, and draw them down toward the hip. Maybe pressing the hips forward here. Inhale, sweep. Exhale, squeeze just that little bit harder, bending deeper in the front leg, sweeping the hips forward. Inhale, sweep. Exhale, hands float down, frame the foot, tuck the toes. Inhale, lift the right knee. Hold the breath, come into plank. As you exhale, we'll come down to Ashtanga Namaskar, knees down, chest and chin down on the mat. Look forward. Inhale your way into Cobra. Keeping the belly on the mat, keeping the bottom of the ribs on the mat, using the strength of the back of the body to lift up. breathing softly through the nose. You can check to see if you're cheating by lifting your hands up off the ground. If you face plant, you're cheating. So float the hands back maybe. A little half locust. Breathing in one more time, lifting a little higher. And then exhaling, hands come back to the mat, forehead down to the ground. Take a breath in through the nose, nice and slow. Tuck the toes, exhale, propel yourself backward through a half plank to find a child's pose. Breathe in. Big sigh out. Again, inhale and exhale. Tuck the toes under. Inhale, press the L's of the hands, so the index finger and the thumb into the mat. And on the exhale, find your downward dog. Maybe pedal it out. Maybe find stillness wherever you are. See if you can squeeze the elbows toward the temples and let the shoulder blades slide down the back, creating lots of space between the ears and the tops of the shoulders. Lift the tail toward the back corner of the room. Lift the crown of the head toward the space between the thumbs. As you inhale, sweep up, right leg, three-legged dog. As you exhale, come back into a low lunge. So the right foot pops between the hands and we'll come down onto the left knee. Connect to all three arches of your foot. Squeeze the weight back into the heel. Squeeze the heel toward the knee toward the heel. Hold here. So we're working backwards now. If it feels good, as you press your heel down into the mat and you inhale, you can sweep the hands up toward the hips and hold here. If you notice that your front knee is creeping toward the center of the mat, maybe take your hand and gently press it out toward the pinky toe. Trying to keep a straight leg, a nice neutral angle with your thigh here. You can stay here if you want, or you can inhale, sweep the hands up. As you exhale, bend that front leg a little deeper, bring the fists down toward the hips, squeeze the heel and the knee closer together or harder together. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, squeeze. Inhale, sweep. Exhale, squeeze. One more time. Inhale, lift the chest, look up to the top corner of the room. Exhale, squeeze, your hardest squeeze yet. And then we'll inhale, float the hands up, and exhale, float them down. Frame the foot, tuck the toes, lift the left knee as you inhale. Stay grounded in all three arches of your feet. Keep the weight in the heel. Left hand comes to the mat. Inhale, find easy twist, right hand to sky. As you exhale, the right side of the ribs reaches up toward the top of the room, deepening that twist. Take one more breath in, lift a little higher. Hold for the exhale. And then at the bottom of the exhale, sweep the hand down, frame the foot, look forward. Hold your weight in the heel. Press the heel down into the mat. Inhale. As you exhale, propel the left foot up toward the top of the mat. Maybe it takes one hop. Maybe it takes a couple of hops. But wherever you are, we'll meet in a forward fold. You have the option here of keeping the legs straight and just draping the upper body over the legs, or bending the knees here, bringing the hands to the mat. And then as you inhale, lifting the hips until you start to feel that stretch, that resistance in the back of the hamstrings. Maybe shaking the head Maybe nodding the head. Bending the knees a little deeper wherever you are. Grounding down through the heels. Inhaling and rolling up. Finding Tadasana. Maybe bringing the hands to the heart. Exhale. Like you're blowing through a straw. Take a moment to assess the body. Feel the difference between the right and left side. And then on the inhale, we'll sweep our hands up and overhead again. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Fold again on the exhale. This time, inhale, sweep the left leg back. Keep the knee lifted. We're going a little faster. Find the easy twist on the exhale. Reaching up, grounding down through all three arches, pressing the heel into the mat. One more breath in. Exhale, frame the foot. Drop the knee. Inhale, sweep it up, crescent lunge. Exhale, fists come down toward the hips, squeezing the heel and the knee together, deepening that stretch in the legs. Inhale, sweep up, lifting through the chest. Exhale, squeeze. Inhale, sweep. Exhale, squeeze. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, squeeze. Inhale, sweep, lift high. Exhale, float the hands down, tuck the toes. Inhale, the knee up. Come back to plank. Option to Ashtanga Namaskar, knees, chest, chin to the mat, or on the exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, Cobra or Up Dog. Exhale, sweep back. This time, come directly into Downward Facing Dog. Take a breath in. Maybe blow out through a straw on the exhale. Again, inhale. And exhale. Three-legged dog, left leg to sky. Bring it forward on the exhale. Foot between the hands. Right knee down. Inhale, sweep it up, crescent lunge. Again, if you notice that your knee is trailing toward the center of the mat, press it out ever so slightly. Squeezing everything together, big inhale. Exhale, fists down toward the hips. Squeeze hard. Inhale up. Exhale, squeeze. Inhale up. Exhale, squeeze. Inhale up. Exhale, squeeze. Last inhale up. Exhale, frame the foot, tuck the toes, lift the knee on the inhale. Exhale, find easy twist. Left hand up. Left ribs reaching up. Breathe in through the nose. Breathe out through the nose. One more inhale, lift higher. Exhale, sweep down, frame the foot, look forward. Ground down through the left heel. Inhale. Exhale, kick the right foot forward, finding your forward fold. It might take you a minute to find your forward fold. If it does, don't worry about it. And then sigh it out. If you would like to, you can take your index finger and your middle finger, wrap those fingers around the big toe, and then bring your thumb to the outside of the toe and press it against your fingers. Bend your knees if you need to for this. And as you exhale, drop the head, lift the hips up to the sky, straightening the legs until you start to feel a stretch through the back of the legs, only going as far as you feel that stretch. One more breath in. One more exhale, squeezing the elbows toward the center of the body. Lifting the hips a little higher, or maybe imagining you can pull your toes toward your face. And then release. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold again, bending through the legs generously. And then inhale, roll up nice and slow. Head's the last thing to come up. Maybe this time sweep the arms up and overhead. And exhale, palms to heart center. Take a moment, just see how that feels. Exhale like you're exhaling through a straw. And then we'll inhale through the nose, sweep the arms up and overhead. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step the right foot back, keep the knee lifted. And inhale, find a high lunge. Maybe sweep the arms up and overhead, maybe just place them on the hips, whatever feels best for you. Option to come into warrior one rather than a high lunge. So to do that, you point your toes about 45 degrees out and step down on the heel. You can make a nice wide stance if you would like to. Really feeling a nice big stretch through the front of the thigh. Lots of strength building in the front leg. Maybe go ahead and karate chop that front leg back, karate chop the hip crease back until you feel the booty pop a little bit here. Hands up and overhead. Breathe in. Breathe out. One more inhale, lift through the chest. Exhale, open up to the side of the room, find warrior two. So the toes point off the side of the mat, perpendicular to the front foot. Keeping that front hip crease pressed backward, deep bend in the knee. Hands reach in opposite directions, gaze on the middle finger of the leading hand. Breathe in, breathe out. Inhale, find peaceful warrior, right hand to sky, left hand to sky, right hand down. Exhale, cartwheel it all the way down, frame the foot. Release the right heel to the ceiling, look forward. As you inhale, press through the heel of the left leg. As you exhale, hop the right foot forward halfway. Set the toes down 45 degrees, come into pyramid. So the hips are pointing toward the front of the mat or pointing toward the floor. The hands are either framing the foot or maybe on the hips, whatever is the most comfortable for you. And we're getting a nice deep stretch into the front leg, just along the hamstring. Holding for one more breath in. And one more breath out. Bend gently through the leading leg. Walk your hands to the top of the mat and rock your weight into the leading foot until the back foot becomes light. See if you can straighten that front leg and maybe hang out here with just the back leg lifted. Or option to open the hips up to the side. Press the left hand down into the mat and bring the right hand to the hip. Little half moon pose. Breathing gently, staying connected to all three arches of the left leg or the left foot. One more inhale. Reach the crown one way, reach the right heel the other. And then as you exhale, find your way to a forward fold. Setting that foot down, maybe shimmying the legs a little bit here. Bending through the knees, inhaling to roll up through the spine. Sweeping the arms up and overhead. Exhaling, hands to heart. Like you're blowing through a straw if you feel like you need to catch your breath. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, float it down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, slide the left leg back. Ground down through the heel. Inhale, roll yourself up to a high lunge. Option again to turn your high lunge into a warrior one, turning your toes 45 degrees. And then setting the heel down. Grounding down through the leading heel, pressing the leading hip back and bending deeply into that knee. One more breath in, lift a little higher. As you exhale, turn your warrior one or your high lunge into a warrior two, so the toes point off toward the side of the mat. Gaze on the right middle finger, grounding down through the right heel, still pressing the right hip back. Little booty pop action here. Holding for one more breath in. As you exhale, drop the shoulders away from the ears. Inhale, peaceful warrior. Right hand to sky. Exhale, cartwheel it down. Frame the foot. Release the left heel to the ceiling. Breathe in. Ground down through the right heel. As you exhale, hop forward halfway. And we'll find a pyramid. Left toes 45 degrees. Straight through the front leg. Maybe the hands are down. Maybe it feels better to have the hands by the hips. This is really good. You can brace yourself against a wall as well, putting your hands out on the wall to help you keep your balance here if you need to. Wherever you are, taking one more breath in and sighing it out. As you inhale, bend gently through the front leg. Walk your hands up toward the top of the mat. Ground down through the heel. Get light in the back leg. Let it float off the mat as you exhale. Right hand all the way down. Maybe you stay here. Maybe you turn the hips to the side, opening toward the left side of the room. And the left hand floats to the hip. A little bit of a half moon here. A bit of a challenge. Staying long from the crown of the head, through the back of the neck, all the way through the leg, kicking the heel toward the wall behind you. One more inhale. Exhale, left hand comes down, hips turn toward the mat, and we float that foot all the way down into a forward fold. And we let the head hang. Maybe here we can interlace the fingers, bring them to the back of the head, hug the head with the elbows, and just let gravity take the head. Big stretch through the back of the neck. Taking one more breath in. Exhaling, letting it go. Bending through the knees. Inhaling to roll up. Hands sweep up. Exhale, hands to heart. And breathe here. We'll heel toe our feet out so that the toes are hanging off the mat. Heels are pointing in toward the center of the mat, so we've got about 45 degrees in the feet. Inhale, sweep the arms up and overhead. And as you exhale, bend the legs, float it down, and come to a Malasana squat. If it feels okay, you can bring your hands to your heart and use the edges of the elbows and the outside or the inside of the thighs to press back, opening up through the inner thighs. If this pose isn't comfortable for you, if you have floating heels, you can always set blocks under the heels, or alternatively, get cushions and stack them between the calves and the thigh. Taking one more breath in here, lifting a little higher, exhaling nice and slow. And then at the bottom of the exhale, roll yourself back. Walk the hands out behind you, and we'll do some windshield wipers. Laying one knee down toward the opposite side of the mat, and then the other. And then we'll walk our feet in. And give ourselves a little hug here. So go ahead and wrap your hands. I like to wrap my hands around the outside edge of the opposite foot so that my arms are crossed over my shins. Make myself into a little ball here. And then bring the forehead down to the knees so that you can really feel the breath. Inhale, the belly presses against the thighs. Exhale, maybe squeezing a little harder. And feeling the body deflate. From here, we'll roll ourselves down, coming to lay down on our backs, and this is a great opportunity to grab a blanket or something extra that you can throw over yourself as you settle into your Shavasana. And I recommend that you stay in Shavasana for about 2 minutes today. For about 2 minutes. So I'll leave the music running for about 2 minutes after this. And then when you're ready, when that music stops, you can go ahead and gently bring yourself back and continue the rest of your day. Until then, I want to thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for tuning in. And I will see you guys in the next one.